When you start to understand the strength hidden within silence, you also start to realize the priceless value of your own peace. Sharing pieces of your personal life may sometimes feel like a relief, like you are unburdening yourself from the weight pressing down on your chest. Yet more often than not, it is not just your thoughts you are handing over. You are giving fragments of your soul to people who may not know how to protect them, or even worse, to those who might twist them into something you never intended. Your peace of mind is sacred. It is that quiet, unwavering force that helps you make decisions with clarity, that keeps your feet steady when the ground beneath you begins to tremble, and that allows you to see the world and yourself with unfiltered eyes. But the very moment you begin to scatter pieces of your experiences across casual conversations, coffee tables, and social media posts, you start to chip away at that peace. You open the doors wide for voices that have no place in your sacred spaces. Every opinion you never asked for, every judgment hidden behind a mask of concern, every assumption made without true understanding, begins to eat away at your inner calm. Not because people are evil, not because everyone is out to harm you, but because they are simply not equipped to carry the weight of your truth. Most people are not malicious. Most are not scheming behind your back. But that does not mean they are the right vessels for your vulnerabilities. You might feel an urgent need to share when life gets heavy. A struggle in a relationship, a crisis in your family, a personal failure that gnaws at your confidence. But before you speak, you must ask yourself, what am I truly gaining here? Is it real healing or just a fleeting sense of connection? Are you building yourself up, or are you temporarily relieving the discomfort, only to pick it up heavier later? Temporary sympathy is not strength. Borrowed reassurance is not security. If your sense of peace depends on the fleeting comfort offered by others, you will always find yourself chasing after something you can never fully hold. True power is found not in the noise but in the stillness. It is discovered when you choose to process privately, when you give yourself time and space to sort through the chaos without inviting a crowd to watch. There is something deeply empowering about sitting quietly with your discomfort until it begins to unravel on its own. Answers arise not in constant expression, but in stillness. Strength builds not when you vent every wound, but when you allow healing to happen without broadcasting every step. What you protect in silence, you strengthen. What you expose too soon, too casually, too often, you weaken. A person who moves quietly through their battles carries a presence that cannot be easily read. They walk with a calm that confuses others. A calm born not from pretending everything is fine, but from mastering the art of internal discipline. That mystery, that unshakable energy, is never an accident. It is the result of treating your soul as sacred, treating your experiences, your dreams, your fears with reverence. It is the conscious choice to guard what is delicate, to protect what is still becoming. Not everyone deserves a front-row seat to your transformation, especially not in a world where most people listen to respond rather than understand. In a world eager for quick judgments and careless opinions, silence becomes your shield. There is extraordinary power in restraint, power in being misunderstood and choosing not to explain yourself, power in knowing far more than you say, seeing far more than you react to. This kind of power does not come from ego. It grows from discipline, and discipline, over time, creates a peace that is untouchable. Before you open your heart and your life to another, pause and ask yourself, am I seeking healing, or am I just seeking escape? Are you speaking from clarity, Or are you venting because you hope someone else can solve what you alone must face? Growth demands that you sit with the uncomfortable long enough to hear its wisdom. And in that stillness where the world grows quiet and only your own voice remains, you will find your answers. You do not need an audience for every stage of your life. Some lessons must be learned in the dark. Some growth must happen unseen. It is not about secrecy, it is about sovereignty. When you treat your life like it is something precious, something sacred, the world starts treating you differently too. The chaos that once found its way to your door begins to pass by. The drama that once clung to you loses its hold. Without having to say a word, you command a different kind of respect, the kind that does not require validation. Peace is not found in constant sharing. It is found in conscious protecting. There is a harsh truth you must accept. Not everyone who smiles at you, listens to you, or claims to support you actually has your best interest at heart. That is not a reason to grow bitter or to wall yourself off from the world. It is simply a reason to become wise. When you choose to share the most fragile parts of yourself, your dreams, your fears, your plans, you are placing delicate pieces into someone else's hands. And not all hands are gentle. Some hands are careless. Some are curious, not caring. Some will cradle your truth only to later use it as a weapon. Not all harm is obvious. Some people will wrap their jealousy in concern. Some will cover their doubts about you in the costume of advice. They will question your ambitions in tones that sound friendly, but carry the venom of their own fears. They will say things like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" Or "Do not get your hopes up too high." They will sprinkle your path with seeds of doubt, and if you are not careful, those seeds will grow roots inside you. Their doubt will start to sound like your own. Their fear will start to feel like your own hesitation, not because they are right, but because you gave them access to a place inside you that should have remained protected. Silence is not just privacy, it is preservation. It is how you honor your journey while it is still unfolding. It is how you filter who gets a seat at your table. Because once a person knows what you value, they hold a certain power over you. Whether they intend it or not everyone knows how to handle that power with care. There are those who will smile in your face while quietly hoping you fail. Not out of hatred, but because your progress shines a light on everything they have ignored within themselves. Your resilience reminds them of the dreams they abandoned. Your courage makes their excuses unbearable to live with. Instead of growing alongside you, they choose to quietly compete, quietly sabotage, quietly resent. Not loudly, subtly, but deeply. That is why you must learn to guard your energy, to protect your peace, not with bitterness but with wisdom, not with fear, but with discernment. You do not owe every detail of your life to anyone. Let your life unfold like a story that needs no explanation. Let your peace speak louder than your words ever could. When you learn to guard your life with intention, you begin to notice how much lighter you feel. There is a quiet strength in not needing to explain every decision, not needing to justify every step. It is a strength built from within, crafted in silence, refined by patience. The truth is, you owe it to yourself to protect your journey, to hold it close until it is strong enough to stand on its own. Every time you share your dreams, your struggles, or your plans too soon, you give others an opportunity to project their fears, their doubts, and their limitations onto you. Not every heart that listens is pure. Not every ear that hears is kind. There is something powerful about moving through life without announcing every thought. When you do, you are not hiding, you are building. You are constructing a foundation so solid that even the harshest winds cannot tear it down. You are nurturing growth in a way that cannot be disturbed by careless words or distracted by unsolicited opinions. This is not about isolating yourself from the world. It is about being selective with who you allow into your most sacred spaces. You see, people often confuse access with entitlement. Just because someone knows you, spends time with you, or shares memories with you does not mean they are entitled to every corner of your mind. Some parts of your soul are meant to be kept private, not out of fear, but out of respect for the journey you are on. Growth demands privacy. Healing requires solitude. Evolution happens in silence, not under the bright lights of public opinion. When you practice restraint, you teach yourself that your validation does not come from applause. It does not come from being seen. It does not come from the approval of others. Your worth is not a performance. It is rooted in your being, and it flourishes when you stop seeking permission to be who you are becoming. Real peace begins when you understand that not everyone deserves a front-row seat to your life. Some people are only meant to admire you from a distance. Some are meant to wonder how you did it, not watch every step you take. And there is power in that mystery. There is power in moving in ways that others cannot predict. There is strength in being the person who does not need to broadcast every move, but allows their growth, their resilience, their success to speak louder than words ever could. When people do not know your next move, they cannot interfere with your path. When they do not know your dreams, they cannot plant seeds of doubt. When they do not know your struggles, they cannot use them against you. This level of discipline demands a different kind of courage. The courage to be misunderstood, the courage to be underestimated, the courage to let go of the need to constantly be seen or validated. It demands that you build a home within yourself so strong, so complete, that external noise cannot shake its foundation. It demands that you trust the unseen progress, the silent victories, and the invisible transformations that are happening deep within you. Not every chapter of your story needs an audience. Some victories are meant to be celebrated in the stillness of your own heart. Some battles are meant to be fought quietly, with no witnesses except the reflection staring back at you in the mirror. It is in these private moments that true character is forged. It is here that real resilience is built, not in the applause, not in the recognition, but in the silence where only you know the depth of the work being done. You must learn to protect your energy with the same seriousness that you protect your dreams, because energy is your currency. It is what fuels your ambitions, your relationships, your every decision. When you allow too many people to tap into your energy, to access your inner world without discernment, you dilute the very force that drives you. You become scattered, drained, unsure. You begin to question what you once believed in deeply, not because you were wrong, but because you let too many voices into a conversation that was only meant to be between you and your destiny. There will always be those who smile at your face and cheer you on publicly, but secretly hope you stumble. It is not always out of hatred. Often it is out of their own unresolved pain, their own unfulfilled dreams. Your progress becomes a mirror reflecting what they have yet to confront within themselves. Your resilience reminds them of their own stagnation. Instead of using that reflection as motivation, some choose resentment, some choose sabotage, and the most dangerous betrayal is not the one that comes from your enemies. It is the one that comes from the ones you trusted, the ones you confided in, the ones you believed were cheering for you. That is why you must guard your inner life with intention, share less, observe more, trust slowly, give access in small doses, measured not by time known, but by character proven. Words are easy, presence is easy. True loyalty is proven through action when there is nothing to gain. Moving in silence does not mean moving in isolation. It means moving with wisdom. It means understanding that your life is not an open book for everyone to flip through at their leisure. It is a sacred manuscript, and not everyone deserves to read its pages. You reserve the right to keep parts of your journey private, to protect your energy, to nurture your dreams until they are ready to be shared. Let your actions speak for you. Let your energy set the tone before you ever say a word. Let your resilience be felt without explanation. There is far more influence in a quiet presence than in loud declarations. Those who truly matter will understand without needing an announcement. Those who are aligned with your purpose will respect your boundaries without needing an explanation. In a world obsessed with exposure, with constant updates and endless declarations, your silence will be your rebellion. Your restraint will be your crown. Your discipline will be your shield. And in that quiet strength, you will find a power few ever experience. A power that does not waver with public opinion, that does not crumble under criticism, that does not bend to the need for constant validation. You will no longer need to explain your dreams, defend your ambitions, or justify your journey. You will move differently because you have become different. You have built something inside of you that the world cannot take away, something that shines brighter because it was forged in silence. And the beautiful thing is, when you protect your peace, when you move with quiet confidence, the world will begin to treat you differently, too. Not because you demanded it, but because your energy will no longer allow anything less. Your silence will speak louder than any speech, louder than any announcement, louder than any defense. Your life itself will become the statement. When you begin to walk in silence, something extraordinary happens. You realize you no longer need to seek approval because you already stand approved in your own eyes. You no longer hunger for recognition because you have found fulfillment in your own progress. Every step you take, every silent victory, builds a momentum that no outside opinion can interrupt. You understand now that peace is not found in being seen, but in seeing yourself clearly, without distortion, without needing someone else to confirm your worth. And this peace, this quiet power, begins to shape how you move through life. You start to notice that you attract different conversations, different energies, different opportunities. People who thrive on drama, on chaos, on gossip, find no home in your presence. They cannot feed off of what they cannot access. You do not give them your plans to dissect, your failures to mock, your dreams to diminish. You give them silence, and in that silence you take back your power. Because what you guard, you grow. What you protect, you strengthen. Every moment you choose discretion over disclosure, you are investing in your future self. You are planting seeds in the soil of self-respect, watering them with patience, and allowing them to blossom without needing anyone else's permission or validation. The loudest voice in your life becomes your own. You have come to understand that silence is not emptiness. It is fullness contained. It is power restrained. It is wisdom in action. It is the choice to hold something sacred rather than scatter it to those who have not earned the right to witness it. It is the refusal to hand your narrative to people who would carelessly rewrite it to suit their own stories. And when you walk this way, you begin to notice how often others lose themselves trying to be understood. They waste energy explaining, defending, justifying every choice they make. They exhaust themselves seeking approval from crowds who do not even understand their vision. They allow fear of misunderstanding to dictate their actions, forgetting that misunderstanding is inevitable for those who are never meant to walk your path. You are not obligated to be understood by everyone. You are not here to make sense to people who have not done the work to understand themselves. Your job is not to shrink your dreams into forms that are easier for others to accept. Your role is not to water down your truth so it can be swallowed by those who are never meant to digest it. Your duty is to be true, to walk your path, to build your vision, to honor your journey whether or not it is applauded. You have learned now that the deeper your dreams, the quieter you must move. Not everyone will celebrate your growth. Not everyone will cheer when you rise. Some will feel threatened simply because your courage reminds them of the courage they have yet to summon within themselves. Some will attempt to dim your light, not because it blinds them, but because it reveals how long they have lived in darkness. And yet none of that is your concern. Your concern is your own becoming. Your concern is the work you are doing in the unseen hours. Your concern is the future you are building silently, steadily, without seeking applause. Every time you choose restraint over reaction, every time you choose silence over spectacle, every time you choose focus over distraction, you are investing in a life that no one can take from you. Because a dream that grows in silence is a dream protected from the storms of doubt. A heart that heals in solitude is a heart strengthened against the winds of criticism. A vision nurtured away from prying eyes is a vision fortified against the poison of envy. You are learning that your power is not in how loudly you move, but in how deeply you believe in the path you are carving. The world will not always understand your silence. Some will mistake it for weakness. Some will interpret it as arrogance. Some will resent it because it denies them access to your energy. But you know better now. You understand that silence is not retreat. It is strategy. It is how warriors prepare for battle. It is how visionaries build legacies. It is how leaders stay aligned when the world tries to pull them off course. You are not here to announce every move. You are here to make moves so powerful, so undeniable, that they speak for themselves. You are not here to justify your decisions to those who were never meant to understand them. You are here to live a life that feels right in your soul, even if it makes no sense to others. And the beautiful thing is, the less you say, the more they wonder. The less you explain, the more they speculate. The less you expose, the more they respect. Because mystery demands respect. Presence commands attention. And silence, when wielded with wisdom, becomes louder than any noise you could ever make. In this quiet space you have cultivated, you begin to realize that real growth happens not when you are performing for the world, but when you are performing for yourself. It is in the silent hours when no one is watching that you shape the life the world will one day admire. It is in the moments when you choose discipline over comfort, faith over fear, silence over validation, that you become unstoppable. You no longer need to tell everyone what you are doing. Your results will tell the story for you. Your resilience will become your biography. Your peace will become your reputation. And your silence will become your signature. The people who truly matter, the ones who are aligned with your highest self, will not need constant updates to believe in you. They will see the evidence of your growth in how you carry yourself. They will feel your evolution in your energy. They will honor your boundaries without needing explanations. Let others chase noise. You chase excellence. Let others seek attention. You seek impact. Let others expose every corner of their lives for approval. You master the art of sacred privacy. Because in the end, the world does not respect those who tell everything. It respects those who master restraint. It admires those who move in silence and let the quality of their work, the strength of their character, and the depth of their presence do all the speaking. You do not need to announce your healing.
It will radiate from you. You do not need to broadcast your growth. It will show in your presence. You do not need to explain your dreams. They will unfold with undeniable power. And when the world finally notices, when they finally ask how you did it, you will smile quietly, knowing that the real work was done in silence, in stillness, in sacred spaces they were never meant to see. Because you understood something most never will. Silence is not emptiness. It is power. It is peace. It is strength. It is your greatest weapon in a world that has forgotten the value of mystery. And when you move like that, rooted, silent, powerful, nothing and no one can stand in your way.